There is a quote by writer William Vaughn, who was a columnist, and he said that the best of all gifts around a Christmas tree is the presence of a happy family all wrapped up in each other.
Sweet.
That happy family all wrapped up in each other, how do we do that? We say that, we just implicitly know, yeah, that's the dream, that's the Coke commercial. Some people get to experience that. I know I've had times like that, and but there's a lot of families that don't get there. Today, we want to talk a little bit about how do we get there.
Yeah.
We want to look at the model disc.
We're going to look at the disc model.
Is
and
that the
how,
title of the model?
Yeah, D-I-S-C.
Yeah.
And how it applies to Christmas.
Yeah, how do you use this around the holidays to have a happier family time?
Right. Yeah.
A more enjoyable time. Stakes get raised at Christmas time. There are certain times, I think, and I want to hear what you think about this, Scott, that I've noticed that people's emotions get raised. We get on this other level where things matter so much that we actually are worse to be around. When in Christmas time, we are around people we love a lot, but because our emotional stakes are so high, we can break down, we can get into fights.
Yeah.
And we do it because of our level of love and because the emotional stakes get high. Same people we might have seen a couple of months ago, but around the holidays, it gets intense.
Well, and I think part of that's because there is this expectation or this dream, and perhaps it's an unrealistic one, that we have this beautiful Christmas presents wrapped up in each other, kind of Walton's kind of Christmas kind of thing, right? So then that becomes a standard that, if not met, might mean that we suck.
Yeah.
Or there's something wrong with me or them or something like that. You know?
Or maybe it's like we take our, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes we can take our dreams for the family and we project those onto the holidays. The holidays are
Right.
when those
That's
dreams are
when
going
it
to
should
happen.
Yeah.
It's not about us being merry and cheery together during like the month of November. It's like, but around the holidays. Or for me, there's a lot of my family members I see maybe once a year because they're scattered across the U.S. And I'm up here in Canada. And
so the one time you're together, you want it to be...
It needs to be good.
Right. It needs to be Disneyland every day.
Yeah. And people get disappointed.
One thing that generally most people want at Christmas, especially when you're getting back together with family, is that you want to make a meaningful connection. And I know I feel a low-grade anxiety that I know that eventually one day things are going to change. We're going to say goodbye to some family member. You know, hopefully it's a decade or two from now, but we will. And I will miss them terribly. And I wish that I could do like a Vulcan mind meld. But in the absence of that kind of technique, you want to connect at such a deep level that you're getting as much wrapped up in family as possible, right? But that so often leads to drama.
Using some of these leadership tools can really matter to our Christmas because we want to enjoy it. We love these people. And that's why it gets so crazy negative. Because it's not about the potato that gets thrown. The kids are trying to have fun. The mother wanted peace. And a potato gets thrown and tears happen. You say something that you intended to be a little help because you love the person you say this, and they seem to take it the completely wrong way. This has happened with my family a number of times. I'm trying to do my thing, being me, loving the way I love, and I can tell I just really offended somebody in my family.
Yeah.
That can be tough.
I think, see, one of the greatest problems you're getting at there is we're trying to communicate love, but other stuff is coming out in the way that we're communicating. So there's that difference between the signal and the noise. And I think around family at Christmas, the noise gets so loud that the signal gets lost.
We all get extra sensitive. And so that makes things even worse because I'm so sensitive about love because I love so much. And I get triggered easily, or I can easily end up at the end of the holidays feeling like a victim and blaming Uncle Roger or somebody for ruining Christmas instead of taking. And so right now we want to, I think part of defining the problem here as we look at that is to say, I need to take my responsibility. Where's the responsibility that I can take?
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, personal responsibility.
Yes.
Not responsible for things I can't control, like Uncle Roger. But
there is an Uncle Roger in my family.
is there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm not talking
He's
about
a good
them.
guy, not that guy. Hey?
I was purposely trying to think of a funny name like Uncle Charlie. But I think that so defining the problem a bit again, like where you're going with this. I think sometimes and tell me if I'm off base on this, that we often can moralize people's actions or personalize them. So when the kids throw a potato, the mother might take it as a personal thing that they don't respect her, they don't care about this family time sheet, instead of seeing it as their mode of communicating love or their mode of action.
Or just being.
Yeah, like personality tests help us see that person doesn't hate me, and they always think I'm less than them. They are just always trying to influence me, and so it's not that they think I need influence. This is just the way they communicate.
Right.
Or they're trying to help change my life because they see them changing people is like one of their ways they love people.
So I think that's the big one there. The way that you love people, right? That
sounds like a song. The way that you.
Keep going. I want to hear this
I don't want to derail us too
Okay.
much. I make up songs every day for my little girls.
YouTube's going to pick that one up. Tony singing. Okay, so here's the thing.
that you
The
love.
signal is love. I love you, and I want you to get that, right? But it's wrapped up in my personality and my foibles and my perspectives and all that kind of stuff. So you've got love languages, right? Which we're not going to get into today.
Yeah.
But people love according to the language that they prefer, right? So my language is
I think that
words.
the love languages can get mixed. Actually, make it messy because love. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. It's a very helpful book, but there's a lot more ways that people try to express love. And if you look at personality type, you see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that we don't want to be limited by those 5 love languages because then we miss the fact that this personality type just uses this mode of operation.
Has it a little bit different. So let's look at the DISC personality. Now, there's lots of different forms. The Big 5, Myers-Briggs, Strengths Finders. There's lots of different personality types. For today's conversation, we'll look at DISC. So DISC looks at 4 different ways of being. And it's a Johari window. So it's basically comparing 2 different factors. And I believe you'll put a graphic up. So you've got, on one hand, individuals that prefer to concentrate on tasks. Compared to individuals who prefer to concentrate on people. Now, overlay that, you've got individuals who really prefer change and others who prefer things to stay the same. So then you end up with 4 different personality types. And hence we get the D-I-S-C of DISC. So in one quadrant, you'll have the D, which is the driver. Drivers are about task and they love to see change. So an individual who's a driver at a family gathering, the way they will show love is if they can help one of their family members to make a really positive change for their life, to change their financial situation, or to
and they come across as dominant and as conductors, right? So I guess one of the ways they might be the person, if there's somebody in your family that tries to conduct the holidays and order it out and tell people what to do.
They set the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
They might dominate, but they're also the ones who are saying, so when are you going to get around to doing such and such?
Yeah. When's that baby coming? Come on, couple.
Yeah.
Come on, young couple.
And where the noise really comes in is when they come across as being dominant. They can be mean. They can be, it can be bossy. But the trick is to actually hear what's going on. That's love. Right?
So if I am one of the other, what's the exact opposite would be?
Exact opposite of the driver would be
the steady relator.
The steady relator, yes. So the S. So those people don't like change so much, and they're very people oriented. So they really want everybody to get along. They're the ones who would much rather throw a party and just enjoy each other.
So if I just want peace and chill, and this person's coming and giving us a laundry list of things to do and tells me to get up and do something, I'm not hearing love. I'm hearing this is because if I love, the way I would love would be to not control other people.
Right. You're saying there's something wrong with me, and I just want to just enjoy each other. Can't we just
go with the flow?
Yeah, and relax. Usually people who are S's, if there's a potato thrown, that's not going to bother them. They'll laugh at it. Isn't that funny? You know?
So families that are naturally kind of like the Waltons probably have people at the helm that are
S's. And that's the thing. My family, both my mom and my dad, are strong in the S side of things. And so I think that our family Christmases were chilled and relaxed and joyous and yeah.
They weren't going around telling you to change and stuff.
No. Right? So then the I's, they like change just as much as the D does, but they're more focused on people. So the I stands for influence. So an I will show up, their love signal will come across as they're trying to influence people and get them excited about things.
So if you were an influencer, you might do something like host a podcast and try to influence people.
And put it on Facebook all the time and make them want to listen. Yeah, those crazy I's. So the opposite of the I is the C, the highly conscientious. Now, conscientious people, task-oriented, and they want things to be to stay the same, which really plays out at Christmas time as they want things to be perfect. So they can get really obsessed about the decorations. And the meal is laid out beautifully, you know, and that everything is done according to tradition.
So if a conscientious person asks me to set the table, they're going to want me to do that a certain way.
Yes. Do it right.
And they're going to be doing it out of love. They want this meal to be the same way it was for the traditional family history.
Yes.
And when I step out of that and try to throw in a flavor or something, throw some Doritos on everybody's plates.
Or if you want to put the knives and forks on opposite sides, you're disrespecting their conscientiousness.
And I might read I'm totally not this type. So when I try to freshen things up,
add some humor or something,
then they're reading that as not love. I'm projecting love.
Yes.
I'm reading their love as kind of stodgy rule-based stuff. Like as an influencer, I want to create family traditions. I don't want to have to follow them.
Right. Do what I do from now on, but yeah. So when you sit down to eat, so my mom is also highly conscientious as well. Okay. When we sit down to eat and the table is spread immaculately and all of the, napkins are folded a certain way and whatnot, I'll stop and take a picture of it because it's beautiful. But what was really being expressed there is love. That's mom's language of love coming through, right? And so it's like where you can roll your eyes and just, well, why do we have to use the fine china? Because it takes so long to do the dishes, and it just adds to the stress. Actually, no, what's really going on here is that's love being expressed. So to hear that signal, that's the big thing. Hear the signal of love.
So taking this knowledge.
Yeah, there's two parts to hear now. Yeah. One is interpret what's coming at you carefully. Don't just take the noise. Really listen for the signal and really assume that there's love coming, even if it comes across brutal. Like if Uncle Buck, there is an Uncle Buck in my family. If he is driving and it feels
does he look like John
Candy?
I just need to know.
A little bit.
Okay, cool.
If he is driving in such a way that it makes everybody or you as an individual feel less than, or what's really going on is he's saying, I love you. Right? And to give him the benefit of the doubt and to realize this is his personality and this is how love comes across for him. Right? But the other side of this is how you project your love. Because if you're coming across unfiltered, you may just come in there. Let's say everybody is an S and you're a D. And you come in there plowing in, wanting to make changes in people's lives. That's not what they're into at that moment. Or vice versa, but just to recognize your personality has a shadow. You can push too hard. And to really make sure that you're communicating love, not just with your style, but with their style as well.
So a way that I can get ready, I can have more joy out of the holidays is to just stop for a moment and to use this disc model to just quickly look at my family. Not to labor over it, but to look at how I think some people easily lie on that, easily, fall within those boundaries. Look at myself mostly, because really this is who I'm responsible for. I can actually take this model and carry it in my brain this holiday season and identify love.
Yes. To a degree, you can say, I know why they're being so irritating. That's their style of love.
And perhaps more importantly, because everyone is a leader. We are all responsible for influencing others. I can look at my own self and I can figure out, like we've talked about it openly, I am an I. And I like ideas. I'm an influencer. And I can look at this and I can think about what others need. Because I do love them. That's why I'm getting together with them. Mm-hmm. The stakes are raised because this is a big time. We want it. These are their holidays. Whatever you're celebrating, this is the holidays and this matters to you a lot. Mm-hmm. So when it comes time to Christmas, I want people to understand that I love them. I feel great when I walk away knowing that there's a look on their face or there's some sense that I could get from them that they feel loved. And if they're a conscientious person and they're very fact finder, data driven, they want Christmas to be a certain way, and I know that, and so I don't step in the middle of that, or I help them
to attain
that right way of doing the gift giving or whatever. I feel great, and I can have a better Christmas by kind of, I don't want to use the word it's like I'm tempering my side, but I'm just looking at the way, recognizing that, and by looking at it, I can step out of it. Instead of being in the stream of automatically being an influencer, I can engage in other ways of being and actually enjoy. And it's not just me serving them. It is me serving them, but it's actually me having more joy from it because I like it when I'm not a problem.
Yeah. You nuance your personality to a degree. And it's not being inauthentic. You authentically want to love them. You just shift a little bit your perspective so that you're not expecting them to talk to you perfectly in your language. You're talking to them in their language. And you lower your expectation that this perfect Christmas is going to be my personality style's perfect Christmas.
So stakes get raised. Just to wrap up, the stakes get raised.
Right.
And we actually disconnect when we most want to connect. Our wires get crossed, clashes happen because we're loving each other in these radically different ways. And I think we'll put up the model up on the site so they can download it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because it might be helpful instead of having to pause this.
Yep, sounds good. Dun, 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 dun.
Happy holiday, happy